I believe that when push comes to shove, they may nudge him if he gets through Stipe. They nudge you, they nudge you, they nudge you, and then you end up getting more money, and then you ultimately fight.
Daniel Cormier expects the UFC will nudge Jon Jones into ultimately fighting Tom Aspinall.
Hearing Jones say, or hearing the rumor that Jones said, this is it for me.
Is this your retirement fight in November, or no, you got more?
It's going to be the last time.
It's going to be the last time?
It's going to be the last
Hey, you're a legend.
It sucks because I do believe that there is some work left to be done with Aspinall, mainly. I don't think anyone else right now warrants him sticking around.
No,
I really don't, because we saw what he did to Cyril Gane.
Well, but the problem is that Tom Aspinall has proved he's this guy, and so when we have this guy, and Jon Jones has been actively fighting, so not super active. But it's like, why can't we see him? We want to see him. They're both there. Put them together.
Cormier speculated there's only one man left on the roster that could entice Jon Jones for sticking around for another fight.
There's one guy that could warrant him sticking around, and that's Tom Aspinall. But if he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, then it really does not matter what he's doing, right? Yeah. He could just be sitting around making money. Yo, Jon Jones just bought like a $5 million house. I saw a picture of him, like a $5 million house in
that means he's got a lot of property taxes to pay.
But he also lives in New Mexico, right? You actually have to live in New Mexico. But that's a beautiful house. Guy's obviously doing well. Probably just doesn't want to fight anymore. And
that's fair.
So what happens, right? You walk away. I believe that when push comes to shove, they may nudge him if he gets through Stipe. They nudge you, they nudge you, they nudge you, and then you end up getting more money, and then you ultimately fight.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
But now it's that Aspinall's officially the backup fighter. But what happens, Ben, if somebody gets hurt? Which one of those dudes is going to say, okay, I'll fight Tom Aspinall? Which one of them will actually stay in the fight?
Shut up. They have to.
Come on, dude.
Come on, do it. Do it.
Come on.
Do it. Do it.
Pavlovich was the backup fighter in New York City when Jones and Stipe were scheduled to fight the first time. Jones got hurt. Stipe pulled out. Aspinall fought against Pavlovich. There is no guarantee that because he's the backup fighter, somebody's going to fight him. I would almost guess that if someone gets hurt, Tom Aspinall stays on the card and he fights neither one of those guys.
That way, I mean, yeah, I'm in for it.
What do you think? You think
Tom Aspinall wants to fight? He shows up and he fights people.
Yeah, neither one of those guys are fighting Tom Aspinall if they don't have to. It'll be Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane or somebody for the interim championship, because those guys are fighting each other and nobody else, Ben.
It seems like Chael Sonnen agrees with Cormier because he believes Jon Jones is lying about UFC 309 being his last fight.
When Jon started this, somebody else had said, we knew Stipe was going to retire, but then somebody else had said they both might retire. Like, this got said by somebody. Might have been Dana. Somebody threw this out, guys. It was way back in March of last year. A year and 5 months ago. Nobody knows. Nobody knows how many months ago March of last year is from now, but it feels like a year and 5. All right. Jon went with it. I watched this happen. I watched right here from Bad Guy Studios when we threw it up on it, and I'm watching the reports on the mania and the elbow. I'm watching this, and I'm going, oh, Jon has grabbed on to that retirement idea. He did not mean it. It was completely insincere. It wasn't even his idea. Somebody else said it. He heard it. Thought it might be good to go with. And a couple different reasons guys that are not going to retire say that they're going to retire. A couple. One could be, he heard somebody else say it, thought it might be good marketing. He never comes out and does anything to try for marketing, and he went for it. Another one is just the same reason you did things like that when you were a child, so that somebody else would tell, oh, no, hey, whoa, no, hey, we want you. Hey, you're great coming in. That's it, though. That's the psychology behind it. The problem with this one, when you're talking about the psychology, is John said it again. And he said it again. And again and again. And anything that you say and you have the ability to control, that you say over and over again, you can make those things become so. And I watched this happen. And I'm going, hey, guys, hit the brakes on that, John, because you never meant it anyway. It wasn't sincere. Like, don't create that. Let's not make that real. And there is something to this Aspinall idea. Okay, I'm tying these in for you because John resurfaced at Sphere, dressed like a cowboy to some regard. I have to admit, he looked pretty cool. He's in all black. He's got a cowboy hat on. It was pretty cool. And now he's over there doing pictures of this, like him and Pierre's also looking cool. He's in like a vest with no shirt on. It was like this Tarzan type thing. It made for good imagery. Now you got these two together. So what do you want to do with that? Are these two going to get along, or are they not going to get along? And I don't have the answer, but it'd be very hard for them to get mad at each other, considering, hey, Hera doesn't speak English, and you're not going to get very far beyond hello and some photos. That's not going to piss anybody off. So John does an interview. Somebody talks to him. And John says, this is going to be John says, this is going to be my last time. He's talking about his fight with Stipe. About his fight in New York at Madison Square Garden. And again, he wants to market. John does look at other guys and their ability to bring in attention and market. He does want to do that. He is playful, and he's handsome enough. He got a smile. He's charismatic. Like he wants to do it. But it just doesn't come out. So he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop with this will most likely be. No, he doesn't stop with this will be my last time. He adds most likely. So, I mean, everything is gone, right? As soon as you say most likely, it's like including the word could. You have said nothing if you included the word could. We could wake up on Mars tomorrow. We're not going to wake up on Mars. Yeah, but could. We're not saying we're going to. I'm just sharing for you. When I watched John do this, it's like, yeah, there he is. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Honey, wake up! The new Conor McGregor sparring footage just dropped. Conor McGregor lands heavy shots in newly released sparring footage ahead of a potential UFC return. Conor McGregor looks powerful in new sparring video, and while Michael Chandler has seemingly moved on from a Conor McGregor fight, at least for the time being, the Irish Phenom is still working hard in the gym. With an aim at honing his craft, McGregor is looking as powerful as ever in newly released training footage. Going back to his roots, the Notorious laced up the boxing gloves and got to work with a significantly larger opponent. In footage uploaded to his Instagram page, McGregor looked fast and dynamic as he picked off his adversary at will. Ben Askren, on the other hand, is the latest to accuse Conor McGregor of substance abuse after Michael Chandler ended his wait for the former two-division UFC champion.
It's pretty obvious to me that Conor McGregor is an addict, and he is
Really?
charismatic enough, rich enough, that it doesn't really have a hugely negative impact on his life, and so everyone kind of is like lets him do what he wants to do. But it's like this guy clearly is out partying, can't show up for a training camp, and then because he can't show up for training camp, he can't get ready to fight. I mean, there's videos of him partying constantly. And listen, if you're rich and famous, and I guess you're not murdering anyone or anything worse where you're gonna go to jail, I guess fine, whatever. You go live your life. But he did kind of drag on this fact that he was gonna fight for 2 years. So it's really annoying. But I was probably on record saying he's not fighting in 2023. I was on record saying Michael Chandler should move on and just say, hey, you're not a serious fighter anymore. You're an addict and you can't train. I've said that many times. And so I think for me,
What's he addicted to, Ben? What's he addicted to, drugs or alcohol?
Probably both.
You think he's just out there fucking just going crazy?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know that I can make any pronouncements without actually having seen him do it, but I watched enough videos to know that this guy's out of control. He's partying constantly, and from all rumors, he's on multiple substances. I don't
Remember,
know
Chael told me at one point he was in rehab. That's why he didn't fight. Conor McGregor is in rehab for alcohol and drugs, and that's why that fight was canceled. Chael said that on ESPN.
I mean, he might be right. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Like, I told Chael this the other day too. Like, Jamil Kelly made a statement. He goes, "Man, you just believe everything Chael and Ben say." I go, "Where there's my friends? They're my friends, and we do these podcasts." He's like, "These dudes be on Twitter, and you just be believing everything they say." I was like, "Man, I think sometimes
maybe he went to rehab and he broke out, because I just see him partying all the time."
Khamzat Chimaev says that the champion Dricus du Plessis is, quote, a bad version of me ahead of a middleweight return. UFC middleweight contender Khamzat Chimaev believes that DDP's best fighting days are behind him, despite pulling off arguably the biggest win of his career. In a recent interview, Chimaev discussed DDP's unbeaten run in the UFC, saying, quote, "This is his peak now. You could say that he's a bad version of me. I'll be back soon and take him down. For me, he is easier than other fighters. Sean Strickland gets up well, and Dricus is a wrestler but more physical. We have the technique, the wrestling, the counter wrestling to take him down and hold him, and he knows it himself. That's why he's silent about me." PFL CEO Peter Murray opens up on plans for Jake Paul's MMA debut.
And also, like, Jake Paul, is this still like where you have planned for 2025 to be his PFL debut?
Yeah, we're lining it up. Obviously Jake is finishing up, boxing this year with this massive fight against Mike Tyson, and then a lot of planning's going into Jake Paul's debut in 2025, and we'll be sharing those details, after Jake gets in the ring with Mike Tyson, and we lay out our schedule for super fights next year.
And from your standpoint, like in the management, is it difficult to like find the right opponent for him? Because he does have a big following, but you also don't want to like discourage him a bit by putting him against somebody that's like too ahead in terms of experience. Like, does it make it difficult on your end to book a fight for him?
Plenty of options. So and Jake is committed to fighting a very, very credible, well-rounded MMA fighter. And not easy to do, not easy to cross over from, boxing into MMA. The crossover from MMA or other disciplines into boxing is a lot easier.
Now let's take a look at the top 3 comments left on yesterday's video. This person says, "I see no problem with him taking time to rest and retool. Ronda came back too soon, so did Anderson Silva. I remember him stopping twice to kneel and pray on the way to the ring for that second Weidman fight. I never saw anything like it before or since. I knew he was struggling with nerves, and look what happened. Don't fight Merab until he's ready, then beat him." This person says, "Not sure why the UFC would give a title shot to a guy, Stipe, who hasn't fought in over 3 years and just turned 42 years old. Jones is going to easily beat him." And at Robert Lembecker says, "2 fights as a champion and he needs a break? Get a grip." If you want your comments read on tomorrow's video, simply comment down below. We'll highlight the top 3 comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and feature them in tomorrow's video. And that does it all for today's video, but make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release a new video. And in case you missed it, check out yesterday's news.